beautiful dreamers, it's Nova here, and today this is going to be part one of my makeup collection tour slash declutter. This will include the eyeshadow palettes and the face palettes, and then part two will include the rest of my makeup collection. So like single highlighters, foundations, concealers, powders, and all the rest of this. I want to quickly also say a couple of things. One, yes, I am decluttering some makeup in this video. Please, please, please do not message me and ask for me to send the stuff that I decluttered to you. I have gotten that a couple times in the past, and it is just a little bit, not gonna lie, annoying. But any makeup that I can, I will donate it if it is lightly used, or it will be passed along to friends and family. I do not feel comfortable sending makeup to a stranger, nor do I really have the means to do that. Secondly, if you have watched this channel for a good length of time, you will know that I used to really love Jeffree Star and Jeffree Star Cosmetics. With everything that is going on and what has come to light, I don't feel comfortable using his stuff on my channel anymore. I'm not getting rid of it because I spent a good amount of money on the stuff that I have, but I'm putting it away for a while. If you notice, his lipsticks are no longer in the background, nor are the palettes. They're in another location, and I have cut out the parts where I filmed me showing off the stuff because I just didn't want to include it in the video. This was filmed a little while ago, so obviously not a long time ago because the stuff has been out for a while. But yeah, so that's the two things that I wanted to say. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this collection slash declutter, or the collection tour slash declutter, and we'll just hop right into it. Alright, so here is a little bit of an overview of the vanity. I have done a vanity tour before, but I have changed some things up recently. So I started storing my eyeshadow palettes on right here, and then up a little bit as well. This half is my face palettes right here, but all of this is my eyeshadow palettes. So gotta figure out a way to do this. We'll start from here and go over to here. So the first two palettes, or the first palette, is the BH Cosmetics Love Signs palette. It looks like this. I really enjoy this palette. I am going to be keeping this palette because I think it's a good, like, somewhat colorful palette, but also it's just pigmented, it's BH Cosmetics, and it's a good palette. And then you have the original Zodiac palette, which looks like this. I will be keeping this as well. I enjoy the colors, and it's a good pigmented palette. The next palette is from JC Cosmetics. It is the #Besties palette, and it looks like this. So basically is a bright palette. It's almost like a rainbow palette, but it's got a lot of bright colors, not quite reds, but there's a lot of purples, yellows, oranges, blues, and greens in here, and I will be keeping this palette. JC Cosmetics is an indie brand, and I really have enjoyed the looks that I have gotten out of this palette. The next one is also from JC Cosmetics. This is the Vintage Rose palette. This is more of a kind of like neutrally grungy-ish palette. I don't know what to call it, but it's got a lot of interesting colors. My two favorites are Velvet, which is a like duochrome kind of white and green color, and then Dream, which is like a blue, like burgundy, like rusty red color. But everything in here is pigmented. They go on like a dream. They're very nice shadows. So I will be keeping this. Oh, and this one does have a big mirror. Now, we have my only Morphe palette. This is the Morphe 3502 palette, and I can't open it. I will be getting rid of this because as much as I like this palette, I don't use it, and also I don't really like using any more of Morphe stuff just because, I don't know, I just, you know, their cruelty-free status is weird and stuff like that. So I will be giving this palette away. This black shade arrived broken, but I did really like this palette, so, but this is gonna go. Next we have a Morphe like Z palette. So it has a whole bunch of single shades. These ones down here are actually from my Juvia's Place Nubian palette. And then these two right here are like custom shadows that I made by mixing a whole bunch of stuff together. Sometimes I just experiment with makeup. But I will be keeping this because this has my single shadows in here. And yeah, and I did depot a lot of my Nubian palette by Juvia's Place, and I just put them in here. They are not magnetic, but I got magnetic tape, so I was able to stick them in here. My Violet Voss Flamingo palette. This one I will be keeping. I love this one. I think it's just so nice and colorful. I love the shades, and I bought this one for my birthday when I lived in LA for myself on my birthday, so it's a special palette, and I love it, and it's also been through the ringer. Let's see, my Nubian 2 palette. This one is a hard one. While I love Juvia's Place, this isn't really a color scheme that I'm too drawn to. It's got some gorgeous colors, but I just don't think I'm going to get any use out of it. So I've done a look with it, and I wasn't really that happy with the results. So I think I am going to get rid of this palette. Next we have the BH Cosmetics Royal Affair palette. I really liked this one when I first got it, and I loved the color scheme. I just loved the look of it, but I just don't find myself reaching for it, and I know I am doing a palette series right now, but I just find that I'm not inspired whenever I look at this. So I think I am going to get rid of it. I do love like Crown and High Tea, but I think I also have those shadows in other, like similar shadows in other palettes. So I'm going to declutter the Royal Affair palette. Alright. Masquerade Mini. This one is a tough one. While I love the look of this palette, I have tried to do a couple different looks with it, and I haven't been that happy with them. Maybe it just needed like a couple more colorful shades to go with them, but I think I'm going to pass this along. Maybe I'll put it in the maybe pile because I do love the colorful shimmers. I'll put it in the maybe pile and think about it. The Zulu palette. This one, it's another like tough one because this is the first Juvia's Place palette. Maybe this was the first one. No, this wasn't the first one. But this is a really nice palette. My only problem is I tried to do, again, a look with it recently, and I just found that this purple right here came out to be really patchy. While it is a really nice palette, let me see if I can turn down the brightness. I don't know. I like the oranges and the yellows, and I like the other stuff. I think I'm going to hold on to it, because the only bad one was, I felt, was the purple. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to it for right now. The Warrior palette. This one is absolute. Well, it would be nice if I didn't drop it on the floor. This one is really nice. Looks like so. I am going to keep this. I really like this palette. I'm going to keep this palette. It's a nice kind of, it's a neutral palette, but it's like more golden and glam. So yes, I am going to keep this one. The Douce palette. Douce? Is that how you say it? I'm going to be keeping this one. I love this palette. Love the color scheme. It's 100%. I love it. And the shimmers, and yes, just it's good. The Warrior 3 palette. I'm going to be keeping. It's a good palette. I think actually, you know what? I think if I keep the Warrior 3 palette, let me compare these two. I think if I keep the Warrior 3 palette, then I don't really need to keep the Zulu palette because they're very, very similar. I think I'm going to get rid of the Zulu palette. Just keep the Warrior. Okay. Then we have the Tribe palette, which I will not be getting rid of. I love this palette. Greens and oranges. This is very good. The Saharan, I think it's what it's called. I, again, have had the same problem. Tried to do looks with this, and I haven't really succeeded in doing a good look with this one. The formula is good, the shimmers are good, but it's just not a color scheme that works for me. So I am going to pass this palette along. Warrior 2 palette, I am going to keep. I haven't had a chance to play with this one. This was an all matte palette, and I'm actually excited to try it out because occasionally I do like to do an all matte look. So I am excited to try this one out. So I will be keeping this one. The Nomad palette I will also be keeping. This is a good like fall toned kind of palette. It reminds me of like a scarecrow kind of thing, which is maybe the vibe that they were going for. But this is a nice palette. I like this one. I will be keeping this palette. Grab these. Put them out here. Okay. The Afrique palette. Afrique? I don't know. Let me know if I'm saying this wrong. This is hard because I love the color scheme. But to be honest, I don't think I need it, and I don't think it's special enough to where it's making me want to keep it. So I think I'm going to pass it along. The Queen palette I will be keeping. I like this palette. It is a good palette. So the Nubian Coral palette, let's see. Nubian, is that? Yeah, Nubian 3, okay. I just stuck my finger in. I'm going to keep this for the time being. I like the color scheme of it and I want to try it out. So I will be keeping that. This one is going to be difficult. This is the Saharan palette. What was the other one? Oh, the Saharan 2. Okay. I like some of the shades in this palette, like especially the white shade Amon. I think that's how you say it. Let me know if I'm pronouncing any of this stuff badly. But I just don't feel like it has enough like mattes for me to work with. I love the shade Sokoto. It's like, it looks like a red, but it actually turns out pink. I think I am going to pass this palette along. I've had this for a little bit, but I don't think, I just don't reach for it, so I'm going to pass it along. Bye. Okay, so here we have two tiny palettes. This is the Zodiac Capricorn. This was the only one I kept from the mini Zodiac series. I am going to still keep this one. I like the color scheme. It's my only like really brown toned palette. Okay, so for my Anastasia palettes, I'm not going to get rid of any of them, because I actually do enjoy them all, but I'll show them. So this is the Prism palette. Maybe I should just grab them. Yeah, okay. The Norvina palette. I'm not a collector of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, by the way. I stopped with the Jackie Aina and then the Carly Bible one, just because I thought the Carly Bible one was really boring, and also I'm not a big support. I don't really support Jackie Aina, but yeah, these are the palettes that I have, and I really enjoy these. So this is Subculture, Modern Renaissance, oh my god, Alyssa Edwards. Also, I hate the velvet packaging. Like, I hate this. Like, this is the type of velvet that I actually hate. Soft Glam. Like, I'm so weird. Like, I hate soft velvet. Not soft velvet, short velvet. I like velveteen, the really soft stuff. Sultry palette. Oh god, I love this one. And then Riviera palette. And then we have the Amrezy palette, which is so pink and glittery. I love it. There we go. And then these, I know I decluttered these last time, but I put them back in my collection because I kind of missed having them. So I have the Naked Heat and then the Naked Cherry palette. I'm going to keep them for now. I'm sorry. And then we have my Melt palettes, which I got recently, just 3 of them. So we have the Muerte palette, which look at how gorgeous that is. And then we have the Vita palette. I don't really like the shimmers too much in the Vita palette. Like, the green one is a little weird. It just doesn't work that well, but the mattes are great. Melt mattes are great. But I like both palettes. Obviously, I'm going to be keeping both palettes. Also, the palettes are gorgeous. These were my first 2 palettes that I ever bought from Melt, because I saw the campaign photos and just the packaging, and I was like, oh my god, that's so gorgeous. So I bought them. Then we have the 420 palette, which, let me just, oh, look how beautiful. It's so brown and green. And then I love the packaging. So I have that one, not going to get rid of that one. Then we have the Smoke Obsessions palette. Smoke Sessions palette. I don't know why I said Obsessions, but it looks like this. Excited to play with that. And then we have the Gemini palette, which, hello. Bought that on a recommendation from Julia Mazzucato. I love her. She's really great. So that is my bottom stack of palettes. We have decluttered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 palettes. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. I'm still gonna think about it. So 7 palettes so far decluttered. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the higher portion. Face palettes, I'm not gonna get rid of any. And no, I'm not gonna get rid of any. I guess I can show them to you. Well, okay, yeah, I guess I can show them to you. This is a collection and declutter. So, this is going to be really weird because I'm standing, but I'm also slightly taller than the camera. So, sorry, guys. I guess I can go down here. Well, okay. So, this is the NYX Contour Kit. What? Looks like so. It's a good contour kit. Then we have the Profusion Highlight and Contour one. So this one is a good one as well. Very cheap. Then we have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. Actually, you know what I should do is I should just raise the ring light. Give me 1 second. There we go. That's better. Then we could do that. Okay. And then here we have one of my favorite contour kits. It's the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. So, that's what that looks like. As you can see, I've decimated this shade. Then we have this AOA I'm a Beach magnetic palette, which I just put some of my singles from my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour in. So we have the shade Fawn, which is a good like contour shade for me, and then just the setting powders, I guess. Next we have the highlighter palettes. So let's see if we can get these out. I just am like not doing great today. There we go. Put them down there. Finally got my hands on the Nicole Guerrero highlight palette from Anastasia. Looks like this. Then we have my BH Cosmetics highlight backlight palette. I love this one. I think I've talked about this one many times, but it looks like this. It's a good one for when I'm doing looks. And then we have the Makeup Obsession Rady Moonlight and Rady Sunlight. This is actually a really cool palette. So this is the Moonlight side. So you get 4 highlighters. And then flip it over to the Sunlight side where you get 4 highlighters as well. And then there's a mirror. And on the other side is just a little thing from Rady. I don't follow her. I don't really know who she is, but she's kind of like an influencer that did a collab. But this is a really cool palette. I also have another palette from her, like eyeshadow palette. So that's really cool. It's a little bulky, but it's about the same size as like an Anastasia glow kit. So we have the Sugar glow kit, and then we have the Sun Dipped glow kit. And then we have the Moonchild and the Aurora. Then we have the e.l.f. What is this called? Glow Gleam Beam. So, and then the Soph X Makeup Revolution highlighter palette. Last 2 little things are this e.l.f. highlighter palette, and then this little Makeup for Everything, which has the gray shadow, and then the other 2 contour shades from the Anastasia palette. Okay, so I took down the palettes that were up here just to show you guys. So we'll start. So I have these 2 Essence palettes. We have the Crystal Iced, which looks like this, and then we have the Hey LA palette. I bought these to do a full face of Essence that I never ended up doing. So I'm going to get rid of these. I just don't use them. Plus, I have tried them a little bit, and I just don't find the quality that fantastic. So I'm going to get rit of both of them. This one is going to be, I just hit the ring light. I'm really good at hitting stuff. This one's going to be hard. So this is the Tartelette In Bloom palette. This was one of the first luxury, not luxury, more high-end palettes that I purchased. I had it for a while. And I'm discovering that I don't use neutral palettes. If you've been on this channel for a good length of time, I'm a very colorful human being, and I just don't use neutral palettes. And it's weird because I own a good amount of them. So I think, as sad as this is to say, I am going to get rid of this. Okay, this one, I'm gonna have to, this is like very neutral, but orangey. I'm gonna have to think about this because I like the oranginess of it. I'm gonna put it in the think pile. This is the Milani's. This is the Everyday Eyes Modern Mattes. This looks like almost like the Petite Heat. Does that remind anybody of the Petite Heat? I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't use this. I never reach for this. It just doesn't inspire me. Here is the palette that I have from Rady and Makeup Obsessions. Wow. This is the Dusk palette. I love this palette. It's so grungy and stuff like that and stuff. So grungy and stuff. It's great. I love it. I just enjoy it. And I also like that if I wanted to, I could pop out the shades and pop some in. So I'm going to be keeping this palette. Then we have the So Dope palette, which is kind of a green, again, more grungy-ish palette. I like this palette. I'm going to keep this palette. Then we have Kisses, which is almost like, it looks very similar to the Blood Sugar palette, but it's like a red, pinky toned palette. I'm going to keep this. I like this palette. Chasing Rainbows. I think it's time. I don't know though. I like this palette, but I don't think I need this palette. I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile, but I think I probably will declutter it. Maybe I'll try and depot Lucid and Blurred Lines, because those two shades that I do really enjoy. This is like a dual chrome and this is like a white. I'll think about it. Then we have the Makeup Revolution, what is this, Forever Chilled, something like that, but it looks like this. It's a keep. Okay, my stack of Profusion palettes. So we have the Neon palette, which is a definite keep. Spectrum palette, again, it's another keep. Sapphires palette. What? Oh, you want to go outside? Okay. Sapphires palette, I think I'm going to declutter. No, I'm going to get rid of it. It just doesn't inspire me. Plus the color scheme, I just have others. Smoky palette. I actually really enjoyed this the time that I used it for my palette series, but I just don't need a neutral palette, nor do I need like a smoky palette, considering that I don't go for those kinds of looks. Gonna try and not keep too many neutral palettes because I just don't use neutral palettes. Emeralds palette I am going to keep because look at it, it's emerald, it's green, I love it. I used it for a look, I really enjoyed it. Ruby palette, haven't gotten a chance to try this, but excited to try it. So then we have the Violets palette, which almost looks like a little bit of a dupe for the Norvina palette. I'm going to keep this. Yeah, it's purple, I like it. Then we have 3 Makeup Revolution palettes. These are their reloaded ones. This is the Neutrals 3. I'm going to keep this one. Yeah, I like the color scheme of it. This one is the Reloaded Division palette, which is a dupe for the Subculture palette. I'm going to get rid of it. I don't need it. Plus, I tried it and I wasn't really that impressed with it. And then we have the Red Alert palette, which I do actually want to try. So, we'll keep that one. Okay, so we'll take these out first. My ColourPop monochromatic palettes, I'm not going to be getting rid of. I'll show you to the side. I have a good amount of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12. This one's a Milani palette, which we'll put down here. My Kaleidos. I'm not going to be getting rid of them. I keep hearing scraping noises, sorry. But I guess I can show you. So we have the Smoke Show, which I think got renamed, but it looks like this. Sorry for my camera work. We have the, oh my god, I don't even remember. This is that red tone one. Whatever it's called. Oh, Main Squeeze. Okay. We have Oh La La, which the tickled color fell out. We have Strawberry Shake. Baby's got Peach. Orangey Glad. The Soul. Honey. Just My Luck. Blue Moon. It's My Pleasure. And then the Lilac You a Lot. I haven't gotten the mint one yet, but I intend to eventually. Put this right here right now. And then we'll go for the palettes that were like right in this area. So this is the Milani Bold Obsessions palette. Looks like this. If you're wondering what the concave one, this one broke, so I repressed it. I'm gonna get rid of this palette. It's again a neutral palette. I don't need a neutral palette. I don't use neutrals, so gonna get rid of that. Then we have these two e.l.f. palettes. We have the 90s Mood. I'm so sorry, I'm not great at showing things. We have the 90s Mood, which I'm going to keep. And then we also have the Rose Gold Sunset palette, which I am also going to keep because I haven't had a chance to try these out, but I want to try them out. Alright, so after the e.l.f. palettes, we have the Kaleidos palettes, which I have, I'm just dropping them all over the place. I have all 5 of the ones that they currently have out. I know that they just released like a summer collection. I'm thinking about picking that one up. I may, but these are the ones that I have. Not getting rid of any of these, but I'll show them. So we have the first one, which is the Kaleidos Futurism 1 Sci-Fi Green. And it is grungy and green and gold. It's my colorful... Wow. Hello. Welcome to me. I can't talk. It's my preferred color palette, I guess, which I love grungy greens and yellows and stuff like that. Then we have the Kaleidos 2 Future Cyber Bronze. This is kind of more of an earthy, almost neutral palette, but you got the silver and the red. You know what I've kind of figured out? Is I like the look of like neutral palettes, but I don't know how to use neutral palettes anymore. Like I've tried to create a look from one of my neutral palettes, and I was just like, what am I doing? Like I've done colored that much that I'm just like, I can't do a neutral look anymore. My neutral look is just winged eyeliner. Anyway, next we have the Kaleidos Futurism 3. I cannot talk. Which is the Astro Pink, which is again kind of neutral, but you got that pop of like berry and then some blue, and then this is really nice. So that's good. What I like about these palettes as well is they're compact and they're good for traveling, so you can get like a good look. Then we have the, go in order here, Futurism 4, which is the VR Neon, which looks like Skittles. It's very nice. Can do some good bright looks with this. And then last but not least, we have the Kaleidos Futurism 5 Electro Turquoise, which looks like this. So. Okay, so that was the palettes. We do have the 3 that I put in the maybe pile, which I will go through right now. So, the Masquerade Mini. I am going to declutter this. Yeah, I'm going to pass this along. This has been barely touched, so pass it along. Tartlet Toasted, I'm going to keep for right now. If I come to it, Or if I don't use it in the next month and I come to it on my palette series and I don't like the look that I've come up with or like tried, I'll get rid of it. But I'm going to keep it for now. For the Chasing Rainbows palette by ColourPop, I'm going to keep for right now as well. If it's still here and I haven't used it by the next declutter, I will get rid of it. But I'm going to keep these two palettes for the time being. Just slide those up here. Alright, so that is eyeshadows sorted out. Let's see. I'm grabbing the ones that I am planning on decluttering and putting them in a pile on the desk. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I have 16 palettes. Let me put you guys down. 16 palettes that I'm planning on getting rid of. Here is the pile. And then I think I have 70 palettes that I'm keeping. If that number is wrong, I'll flash the correct number on screen. But yeah, so these are the palettes that I am keeping, and getting rid of, these two piles right here. And I'm actually pretty happy with that. They're palettes that I just don't feel like I got much use out of, and hopefully they can get passed along to somebody who can actually use them. So, there you go. Alright. So that was the collection, or the eyeshadow portion, eyeshadow and highlighter or face palette portion. I cannot talk today, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Part 2 should be up next week. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell icon to get my post notifications. I post once a week on Wednesdays. My social medias will be listed down in the description box below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay beautiful. Bye.